All right, so this is coming a little bit late, as this news broke a while ago. At this point, I somehow missed it. I don't know if Schefter or Rappaport or Pelissero, none of them tweeted it out or something like this. I thought, I just found out about it now, but I figured, you know what, I still want to make a video, give my thoughts on the Jameis Winston signing because I do think it's very interesting. So here are my thoughts now. Yeah, Jameis Winston, a quarterback who at his best has had some very good games, at his worst has had some not so great games, decides to sign with the Cleveland Browns on a 1-year, $8 million deal, with $4 million of it fully guaranteed. But again, it's a 1-year deal, so he'll probably make it to the end of it and get it's $8.7 million. And I find it interesting. So for one thing, that's on the higher side for a backup, right? Sure, the cap has gone up. It's on the higher side for a backup. And, for one thing, they could just say, oh, well, Watson's gotten injured. That's why we're doing this. Okay, maybe. Or maybe Watson has played very poorly in the 2 seasons now, and you're looking for just potentially other options. For Jameis, I listened to him on Pardon My Take a bit ago. It's a fun interview. Check it out if you haven't already. Where he mentioned in that interview his goal is to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and what he means is a quarterback who starts the Super Bowl and wins it. This is a potential. I don't know if I would say a great opportunity, but this is about as good of an opportunity as he might get at this point for it. Now, yes, on one hand, maybe he would have rather gone to Denver where he'd probably get the starting job, but I think his logic is he feels like he might have a chance to beat out Deshaun Watson. And if he can beat out Deshaun Watson for the starting job, I doubt he hasn't really much of a chance like week 1, but maybe, I don't know, week 7 or week 10, he has a chance to win the job. And if he can come in, maybe like what we just saw with Joe Flacco, perhaps he can go on a run and potentially, win a Super Bowl, I'm sure is the mindset. We did just see Joe Flacco make the playoffs. So for Winston, for one thing is they're giving you almost $9 million. Okay, well, that'll make it easier. But just in general, you can see the logic. So let's be honest, we were all kind of hoping for him to get a starting job somewhere. Like that's, he's such an exciting player to watch for better or worse. It is a bit of a bummer to see him, not be able to just, sling it down the field for 17 games a year. But there could still be some, could still be interesting. Now, I haven't really looked around. Again, I just found out about this news. I'm the last person. Usually I'm so on top of things, getting videos out immediately. Here I'm, last person to know about it somehow. I missed this one. But I'm sure there's plenty of jokes about both of them and their controversial past. We'll put it way too mildly and just call it that. That's something that I do think is interesting as well. But I don't know. It should be I think it's an interesting move by Winston. I understand why he's doing it. He's not afraid to, go and be a backup and try and, put himself in a good situation. And there's some value in that, right? He did that with the Saints, where he, instead of just going and getting a starting job, which he could have gotten, he instead goes and, is as a backup for a while because his mindset is it's a good situation. Let me stay here. And then if things work out, if someone does happen to go down, then I'm in a good situation. Whereas if Jameis does go to, Denver, he might not be in as good of a situation right away. And so sure, he's getting the start, but if you get the start and you stink, well, then you don't get the backup job. And hey, if you play this whole year and Watson plays well and you never get the job, well, then guess what? Then you just collected $9 million and people will still think just as highly now then as they do now, and maybe even more highly, Teddy Bridgewater 1 year got a contract, sat out for a whole year, and then got a bigger contract after that. And Trubisky had a similar thing. He, sat out a full year as a backup and then got paid more money the following year. Like sometimes that happens weirdly. So, I think it makes sense for Winston. And again, from the Cleveland Browns perspective, we have to talk about it from their perspective as well, because as I mentioned, it's a high backup contract. And you can sit here and say, well, yeah, Watson's been injured and he has an injury history, so we're being careful. We're making sure we have a backup. At the same time, you can't help but talk about the struggles Watson has had. Now, listen, he had a couple of good Watson had a couple of good statistical performances last season. I did not think he had a very good year last year. I thought that he was, at best okay and at worst a disaster. And I think that, they don't want him to just be okay. They want him to be actively good. Now, that's not, maybe, you can't expect someone to play great right away, perhaps. But, I mean, what? Joe Flacco sat out from football as long as Watson did, and Watson has played enough now that you just have to wonder what's going on. He hasn't played like Houston Watson. He hasn't. Like that, I think we can all agree upon. So what do you do? Well, again, let's get a good backup with some high upside. Doesn't just feel like it's, hey, if Watson misses 4 games, we hope Winston can win 2 of them. It might be if Watson is stinking, but we're still, 4-4 because our defense is so good. Maybe we make a move and try to make the playoffs, which is part of why I'm sure Winston made this call to go there. So again, is it possible that they just value the backup quarterback position because of what happened last year? Sure. I mean, we can easily look at San Francisco, right? Who, what they did 2 years ago with the, not 2 years ago, last year with the Sam Darnold contract. So they had all their quarterbacks get injured, similar to how Cleveland did. And then they said, you know what? We're just going to get Sam Darnold. He's a solid backup, whatever. We're paying for him. I don't think they thought Darnold was ever going to be a starter. They just wanted a third quarterback in there. So I guess the other thing we have to talk about is Joe Flacco, right? Joe Flacco, is he going to be a quarterback is he going to be a quarterback in general, right? Like, because I thought what Cleveland was going to do was they'd keep Deshaun Watson, obviously, and then they would just, add Flacco to the mix. That was kind of going to be their mindset. That's what made sense to me. They decided not to do that. That's not the call they made. They instead decided to go with Winston. Now, does that mean that Flacco is gone? Does that mean that they talk to Flacco and Flacco wants more money? Maybe there's teams actually looking to Flacco now because he did just lead a team to the playoffs. Maybe there's someone that's interested. Or maybe Cleveland just kind of says, you know what, Flacco, that was fun. That was a good year, but there's no future with you, so we're still going to move off of you, which is a way a lot of NFL teams think. But that would be a bummer, right? If that's the end of Flacco. It was a fun run. Well, I was kind of hoping he'd at least get another year. It seems like I would assume he wants another year. There is the other thing. Maybe he just said, you know what, guys, I'm not sure if I'm into this. Continue on without me kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, what do I think is going to happen? I guess the other thing too, though, is, for Cleveland, when would you make that shift to move on from Watson? Like, if Watson does stink next year, at what point do you put in Jameis? And there is the other argument, too, which is maybe a valid one, of if Watson starts stinking and you're, like I said, you're 3-3, but you're winning in spite of Deshaun Watson, not because of him. At what point does the fans start saying, hey, we want Jameis? And once that starts to happen, maybe you have to make a decision. Or maybe this is part of the logic, is let's get a backup with some pedigree, a little bit of pedigree at least, so that way if we do have to move off of Watson, at least there could be some excitement about it instead of just devastation if they didn't have a good backup whatsoever or something like that. I don't know. It's an interesting move. But yeah, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of memes about this and all that stuff. That is my 10 hours late thoughts on the Winston stuff. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.